What is going on, y'all? Thank y'all so much for tuning in to this video. It is my first one ever, so please be kind to me if it isn't perfect. And also, I want to say I will be heavily spoiling One Piece. If you're not caught up in the manga, do not watch this video. Also, I do cuss, so don't be soft. Throughout the history of fiction, loads of characters have been created for the sole or partial purpose of representing an idea, theme, or value. A character like Robin Hood, for example. He steals from the rich and gives what he steals to the poor. Robin Hood represents justice, or the idea of altruism. But today, I want to talk about a character who embodies freedom greater than any other in fiction. Not you, Aaron. Sorry. Today, we're talking about my favorite main character of all time, Monkey D. Luffy.
Monkey D. Luffy.
Where do I even begin with this guy? I mean, he's a walking beacon of hope for liberation to thousands of people in the One Piece world. He's overthrown seemingly omnipotent tyrants time and time again, and has given speeches that can genuinely move you emotionally. But man, this guy is a fucking dumbass. But anyways, let's get back on track. What is freedom? And what is it about Luffy that encapsulates it so well? See, freedom isn't easy to fully define. It's a subjective concept that can look different depending on your core beliefs. A Buddhist might say that freedom is achieved once we've let go of all earthly attachments, while a Marxist might say freedom is achieved once we end exploitation. Marx would have loved One Piece, man. Hell, some people even believe that death is the only way to bring about freedom. Point is, it's a lot of different goddamn perspectives. And if we were to go over each and every single different perspective, we'd be here all day. However, each view has the general idea that freedom is the absence of oppression from your life. Now, I know you guys are probably thinking, what the hell does any of this have to do with One Piece or Luffy or anything? Well, everything, of course. Freedom is the central theme of Luffy's character in One Piece's story, and Luffy embodies the theme of freedom in multiple ways. First off, let's talk about why Luffy became a pirate in the first place. In the Saba Odi arc, that arc where Luffy absolutely bodied that weak-ass celestial dragon, Luffy and his mentor Rayleigh, the former king of the pirates' right-hand man, were having a conversation on what becoming king of the pirates and finding the One Piece truly means. Rayleigh tells Luffy that the journey ahead is an unpredictable and dangerous one. He then asks Luffy if he thinks that he can conquer the seas ahead, as becoming king of the pirates means becoming powerful enough to do so. Luffy responds by telling him, "I don't want to conquer anything. I just think the guy with the most freedom in this whole ocean is the pirate king." This is a unique perspective from Luffy on what becoming a pirate means to him. You see, most pirates become pirates and pursue the One Piece and Pirate King title because they are chasing either material wealth, status, or power. Shallow things. And most wouldn't think twice before oppressing innocent people for their own personal gain. Take, for example, Doflamingo, Kaido, Arlong, Big Mom, and so on. But to Luffy, becoming king of the pirates has always meant much more than that. It's always meant pursuing freedom, ultimately. It means defying all laws and defying all authority. Luffy has shown us more than once that he is more than willing to make an enemy out of anyone, no matter how powerful, who threatens to take his freedom away. Becoming Pirate King literally means becoming target number one to the world government, but Luffy is willing to take that risk simply to pursue the freedom that he seeks. Luffy does not want to be told what to do. Honestly, it feels like he became a pirate simply because it was prohibited. Even his grandpa and esteemed vice admiral for the Navy, Garp, tried time and time again to convince Luffy as a child that he had to join the Navy and fight for the world government, even giving him a few whoopings in the process. Dude constantly does the opposite of what he's told. Remember when Sabo told Luffy and made it very, very clear not to ask Ace about his dead father that he hates so much? And the first thing Luffy did was, ask Ace about his dead father who he hates? This man has never formed a coherent thought in his life. Luffy deciding to become a pirate and go on a perilous journey is representative of the difficult challenges and decisions one must face in life in order to reach freedom, as it's never in history been an easy thing to obtain. He shows that if one is to truly be free and live as the individual they wish to become, they have to sometimes go against societal norms and order and do what they best believe will be best for them. But Luffy isn't seeking freedom just for himself, and honestly, if he was, he wouldn't be a good embodiment for freedom in my opinion. See, the reason I think Luffy is such a good embodiment for the idea of freedom isn't just because he seeks it for himself, but it's because he seems to radiate it. Wherever Luffy docks his ship, better believe, if people are oppressed there, he will bring freedom to them. Even if he's gotta throw hands with people much more powerful than him. Oda sets the tone for this from the moment he introduces Luffy to us. Luffy's first action was freeing Kobe from an oppressive pirate named Alvida, and right after that, he saved Zoro from the world government. Luffy's first actions of the series, being freeing two different people from two different oppressors, wasn't accidental. It was an intentional choice from Oda to show us that Luffy was always going to be a freedom fighter and fight against oppression of all kinds. This fact is now more evident in the series as ever, now that he's literally known as the Warrior of Liberation, and it's confirmed that he is the legendary Joy Boy, the man who was said to arrive someday to liberate oppressed peoples with a smile on his face. Even his fighting style embodies freedom, especially when he gets into Gear 5 and can fight freely using whatever moves he pleases no matter how silly they are. Right now in the manga, he's treating the likes of Saturn, one of the most intimidating and presumably powerful characters in the series, like he's a fucking mosquito, showing that there's truly no limit to this dude's imagination. I also love how we get to see Luffy develop his sense for freedom fighting as the story progresses, because he didn't always want to be a freedom fighter or even a hero for that matter, despite filling the role multiple times before fully embracing it. In the Fishman Island arc, Luffy was having a conversation with Jinbei about wanting to kick this fishman named Hody's ass, because, well, nobody likes Hody, he's trash. But anyways, Jinbei tells Luffy that he can't just beat up Hody, because fishmen and humans have a long negative history. Humans have historically oppressed and kept the fishmen as second-class citizens. And if Luffy just beats up a fishman in Fishman Island, he'll look like every other human who has abused him in the past. Jinbei then tells Luffy that in order to beat Hody the right way and not piss off the fishmen more than they already have, Luffy would have to become a hero. Luffy gets upset at this and says that although he loves heroes, he would never be one, stating that a hero is someone who would share their meat if they had a lot of it, but he would rather have a banquet and eat all the meat himself. Yeah, it sounds dumb, but it's Luffy. What can you expect from the guy? This quote directly contrasts a later quote that Luffy has in the series in the Wano arc. When Luffy is talking to Tama, a poor girl from the land of Wano, who had previously given Luffy her last bit of food, she explained that because of Kaido, the current ruler of Wano, a lot of people in the country are starving, due to not being allowed to have food. Of course, Luffy thought that was unacceptable, so he went on to steal the food from a nearby storage that was hoarding it all for Kaido and his elites. And as Tama eats an apple that Luffy gave her, she says that she can't imagine topping off her birthday in this manner, because she thought that the apple was so delicious. Luffy then essentially tells her, don't even celebrate this like it's special. We gonna make this normal. By the time we leave this country, it's gonna be a place where you can eat as much as you want, every single day. First of all, I want to point out how unbelievably fire that is. But more than that, I believe that this quote right here showcases to the audience that Luffy has fully embraced being a hero and freedom fighter. That is according to his own definition at least. See, in the past he was saying that he would never share the meat that he finds because he would rather eat it all for himself, which is pretty selfish for him to say. But now, he's finding food for others and feeding the needy. I believe that when Luffy first started his quest, he had no plans to liberate people from mass oppression. But as time has gone on in the show, and he's interacted with more tyrants and more oppressed peoples, he's clearly developed a sense for liberating now. And although I think in the beginning of the series, his goal may have been to just find personal freedom for himself, it clearly grew to be something more, to the point where it seems like Luffy isn't gonna stop until the whole world is liberated from oppression. And that's why I think that Luffy embodies freedom greater than any other character in fiction. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of the video. More videos will be on the way. And if you liked it, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Have a nice day, y'all.